Hello everyone! In my previous haul video, I showed you that I purchased one light green Zig Clean Color Real Brush pen, and in this video you can see me shading in a portion of my HyperDex Extra with that pen, and I found that I really like the effect. It gives a watercolor look to my HyperDex, which I really like and which I can really appreciate because I cannot watercolor to save my life. But if this brush pen can give me the watercolor effect, then I would like to try it out. So I went to National Bookstore and purchased a bunch of them, and I am going to show you what colors I got and why, and we are also going to open up the pens. But first, let me show you my process. I swatched on a piece of paper all of the Staedtler pens that I am currently using for my HyperDex, and that was the basis that I used in looking for the colors for Zig. Let me show you my HyperDex right here is that circle over there, and that is a tool that I use to track my time. It is able to track all 24 hours of any given day, and every color there has a meaning. And let me show you my HyperDex color key, and that is the key that I use to mark in the portions of my HyperDex. All colors and all patterns have a meaning, and I will be linking down below a video that I made about my HyperDex. And so for now, like before I purchased the brush pens, I was using these. Those are the Staedtler Triplus Fine Liners, and I buy them one by one, not the set. Every time I run out, I just buy the color that it has run out. But some of the colors are no longer available, so I've also started shifting to the Stabilo ones. And the green zig that I was holding up refers to the category for my day job. And so now let me show you all the colors that I have found to be used in my HyperDex Extra. Now I purchased a total of 12, and if you add the light green to my stash, that means I have 13 zigs. The first color that I purchased is yellow, and then I also purchased the violet. Next, I purchased the mid brown, and then I also got the dark oatmeal, which I hope is a light brown color. And I have the blue, and I also have the cornflower blue, which I hope is a mid blue. Now, I found this spelling a little bit amusing because the cornflower blue that I know is spelled flower, not flour like what you use for baking. So those are the two blues that I've got. And I actually needed a third blue that is very, very light, but I couldn't find it in the store. And then we have the deep green, which should be the same as the dark green that I use. And then we have the olive green and the pink one and the gray tint, which I hope is a very light gray, and then the orange, and finally we have the light violet. And those are the colors that I found in the store that were close matches to the swatches that I got. I wasn't able to test out anything because the store didn't allow opening, except for some of the light grays, which were already open. So now let us open the pens and see which ones are real matches to the swatches that I have. First, we have the blue, which should be a match to the dark blue that I use. I use that color to mark in my exercise time, and if I put in white dots over it, it means I swam laps. And as you can see, it's a good match, so I'm keeping that pen. Next, we have this is the light violet, and I use that color to mark the time that I spent doing work for my YouTube channel, and I usually put white dots on it. I don't really know why. I don't really need the white dots for it because the color is different from the dark violet, as you will see. And I think that that light violet is a good match to the one that I am currently using. And now we have the violet one, and this is the color that I use to mark personal tasks and personal time. And as you can see in the swatch there, my old one was running out, so it was really a good time to go out and buy a replacement. And it's a good match too. And then we have the pink, which is the color that I use to mark the time that I spent for my Etsy store. And I also use the same pink but with white dots over it to mark design work that I use for other people. And I think it's a pretty good match. And then we have the yellow, which I use to mark time spent at home doing house chores and other home related tasks and errands. And I think can never go wrong with yellow, really. If it's called yellow, it will be the same as all yellows for the most part. And now we have what is called the mid brown, and what I needed was some sort of darkish brown. That is the color that I use for freelance tasks, locations, and people. And I think it's a pretty good match. Not a perfect match, but it will do. It will be clear to me what that color is for. And next we have the dark oatmeal. I wasn't really very sure about this. I wanted to be a light brown, which is the color that I use for elsewhere and other things and other people, meaning locations, tasks, and people that are not really uh, categorizable together with the other categories in my HyperDex color key. And as you can see, it is a greenish color that I might find confusing, so it's not a good match. It is not a match at all. So I don't think I'm going to be using that color in my HyperText color key. Next, we have this is called the deep green in the Zig system, but in Statler, it's really just green. And as you can see, it's a match and it's a color that I use to mark in the time that I spent writing, journaling, blogging. Well, not a perfect match, but it is a good color that will be clear to me what it's for. And then we have the gray tint. There are a bunch of grays that were already open in the store, and I was able to try them all, as you can see from the swatch. But I chose the gray tint anyway because it looks warmer and it's gray. There's no other gray in my HyperText color key, so it will be clear to me what that gray zig is for. And then we have the orange. I think the orange is pretty much like the yellow. Once you call a color orange, it's pretty much the same orange as every other coloring system. I'm sorry that I was not able to realize that it's outside of the frame already. Now we have the cornflower blue, which I wanted to be sort of like a mid blue color, not too dark, not too light. But as you can see, it is very, very close already to the dark blue that I already have for swimming. Now, the mid blue is the color that I use for time spent with Jawide and Jawide related locations and when I'm actually with Jawide. But it is very close to the dark blue that I use for exercise, so it will be confusing for me to use that color. So I'm just not going to use that color. I'll just look for a zig that has the mid blue color. And now we have the olive green, which I use for people, locations, and tasks related to family. And as you can see, it is a perfect match. And finally, there you can see the orange swatch that was out of the frame earlier. And once again, we have the light green that I showed you before. This is the very first zig that I purchased, and that is the color that I use for work related people, locations, and tasks. And so that has been my process in choosing the zig that I need. And here I am just taking a Lamy Safari Vista fountain pen that I haven't been using, so it kind of dried up. I'm just enclosing all the colors of the zig that I need to replace. You have the brown, the light brown, the dark green, the mid blue, I need to replace those. And I'm also encircling the colors that I don't have zig versions of, but which I need to find, like the light blue for sleeping, the red for campus or university, and the plum for friends and socializing. And now here's the fun part. I wanted to arrange all my Zig brush pens in my pen case in the same order that the colors appear on my Hyperdex color key. So let's go ahead and do that. I have emptied out the pen case, and this is the filed pen roller, and I have made a video about it before, and I will link it down below. So first would be the yellow, and next would have to be the light blue. I have found no light blue Zig brush pen, so I'm still on the Muji light blue marker. And next we have the gray tint. And because I wasn't able to find a dark gray Zig, I'm still going to be using the dark gray Staedtler Triplus fine liner. So I put that back in, to be followed by the dark green Staedtler because I don't have a dark green Zig, but I do have the light green Zig. So I put that in, and then next comes the pink, and then the light violet, and then the violet. And then up next in my Hyperdex color key would be the dark blue, the mid blue, and the red. The dark blue again is for exercise and swimming if it has white dots over it. And the mid blue is for Jawad. I'm using the old pen there because I wasn't able to find a mid blue Zig. And then the red is, I haven't found it, so I'm using the old one. And the next colors would be the orange, and then the olive green, and the last three colors would be the plum. The plum one is for socializing and time spent with friends. I couldn't find it in Zig, so I'm still using my Statler one. And then that's the mid brown, and then the old light brown Statler. And I'm also putting in the white jelly roll that I use for putting on white dots on my Hyperdex Extra. And then finally, there's the Lamy Safari Vista, which I should be using more often so it doesn't dry up. And there I am pointing out all of the pens that I need to find Zig versions of, so everything will be complete. And this is really the pen case and all the pens that I carry around with me on every single day. I'm sure it's a lot. It seems a lot, but it's not. I'm so used to it. I usually put this in my bag upright. The brush tip should be facing up, just like fountain pens. The nib should be facing up. Now here I am the next day with my pen case opened up in front of me, so it will be easy for me to see what I need and take it. And I usually put it with the caps facing me because that's how I pull out the pen that I need. And it's a system that I have been using for about a couple of years now, and I'm so comfortable with it already. I don't even think about it much anymore. I just do everything instinctively. By the way, I would like to shout out to the three friends who have been the major influencers in me purchasing the Zig. Shout out to Claire Ching, Nick Meneses, and Jaya Mansai Lee. Thank you so much for encouraging me to go the Zig way. And I can't wait to start using these more and more. And so that is my haul video for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye.